What's going on, everyone? It's time for another horror film review. Today we're going to talk about one of John Carpenter's not so well-known ones, Prince of Darkness. This is part of my countdown to Halloween reviews I'm doing. So every day up to Halloween and probably the day after, I'm going to post at least one horror, sci-fi, fantasy, or thriller film review all the way up to Halloween. And yeah, you're going to get a lot this next week. So and this is part of it. Prince of Darkness was released by Universal Pictures October 23rd, 1987. It was written by John Carpenter, but he put his name under a pseudonym called Martin Quatermass. And it was produced by Carrie Pranko and written, and the music and John Carpenter did the music and directed this film. Now, if you're not sure who John Carpenter is, he's the one who did like The Thing, Halloween, Escape from New York, and They Live. This film had a budget of $3 million and it like broke even when it came out. But this is part of his multiverse of evil trilogy, I think he calls it. It's basically The Thing, Prince of Darkness, and In the Mouth of Madness, which is actually a really good movie. I should probably review that one at some point. But yeah, so Prince of Darkness is basically a priest uncovers an evil substance underneath a church, and he slowly starts realizing that there's street people outside, like the homeless and stuff, are actually street people guarding it. And he enlists the help of a university professor and his students to help figure out what's actually going on. And as they start investigating, dark and creepy, eerie things start happening to them, and it gets more dangerous and evil as it goes on. This is an interesting and clever film. At this time, John Carpenter was really into like atoms and like this really science, dark matter and stuff like that, like the sciencey stuff that is unknown. So he wanted to make that into a movie, and this is him coming off of like the more action comedy stuff like Big Trouble in Little China, Escape from New York, and stuff. So he was really want to go back into horror and do another one. So he came up with this film. Now, and so he hired a lot of good actors. Donald Pleasance plays the priest. We even have the shock rock titan himself, Alice Cooper, playing the head of the street people, and a whole pile of other familiar faces. Those are the only names I can remember off the top of my head. But yeah. The characters are actually pretty well fleshed out in this. There's someone in there for everyone, and there is a good amount of body pile up in this. And yeah, the effects are all done in camera because they couldn't afford optical effects at the time, so they made sure they could do them all in camera, and they still hold up today. They have some pretty cool flip camera shots. So like there's a scene where a girl's like, there's like a body and then the goo shoots out of her face which is basically they just had it upside down and let it go through. Very simple stuff, but it works so well and it looks really good on camera. And they even go do old like 50s techniques, like putting the hand through a liquid mirror. So they had liquid mercury and then they made a fake glove and put the hand through it and stuff, even though it's on its side, because obviously they're going to push it down into a tub or something. But yeah, stuff like that. It works real well and it still looks really good. The story is actually dark and creepy, and it has a lot of good creepy atmosphere, unlike most of the modern movies these days. And this one is definitely an underrated film. It is a little loose-ended and not very. Some parts are a little choppy and things, like it's not. Some things aren't really well explained. They kind of just end up happening. But for the story, and the story is interesting. It's pretty much in a one location area, so you're not really getting bogged down by all these other things. And some of the characters can be a little annoying, but for the most part, this film is definitely fun, thought provoking, and overall creepy. It's probably not going to be for everyone, but I thought it was a pretty interesting film for John Carpenter to do, and he did some pretty clever things. Too bad most people just never checked it out. So I'm gonna give Prince of Darkness a 3.5 out of 5. I thought it was actually a pretty decent movie, besides it being a little odd and weird but still, for what it is, it's still another good entry, and people should definitely check it out. Now, I'm not sure where it's streaming or anything, so I'll at least put the trailer down below so you can at least check that out, see what I'm talking about down there. Also, make sure you check out my Instagram that's linked down below. So I post clips of films I'm going to review in the future on my story. I usually put the film title in there and some fun fact thing in there as well. Make sure you also check out my Letterbox. That's linked down below. That's where I post clips of films I'm going to review in the future on my story. Or that's where I put my first star rating right after watching the films down there. That's linked down there. Also, make sure you check out my Twitter, reviews underscore Derek. That's where, yeah. So stay up to date with this channel. Like this video, share it somewhere people will it. Comment your opinions of the film down below if you have any. If you have any films or film franchise in any genre and on any stream service that I want to hear my opinions on in the future, comment those down below too. I'll try my best to get to them as soon as I can and if I can find them. Make sure you like this video, share it somewhere people will it. Comment your opinions of the film down below if you have any. If you have any films or film franchise in any genre and on any streaming service that I want to hear my opinions on in the future, comment those down below too. I'll try my best to get to them as soon as I can and if I can find them. Also, if you have any more horror films that you want to check out this month, let me know down below too. Don't forget to subscribe. Hope you find some weird, scary, holiday fun I never thought checking out together. And also share my opinions on popular films that have come out, classic films, and reviews on other things as well. And don't forget to ring that bell because, well, we're going to do a Ryan Reynolds horror comedy that he did at the beginning of his career called The Voices in the next review. So we'll see how that goes. So make sure you tune in for that. Watch out for all those crazy, evil, gooey stuff underneath churches because, well, that's where they're stored. And obviously that's where the evil happens. And I guess I'll see you all in the next review. So until then, cheers.